Imagine this. It's late at night, you are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and then a sudden thought shows up. What if I had seen something different? That feeling is what I call alternate reality. When we hear that phrase, alternate reality, we usually think of movies, novels, or even time travel. But in real life, it is much easier. It's not another word, it's this life, with one small moment change. In real life, every choice clues something. You choose one thing and you lose another. You can't handle two things at the same time. And sometimes those moments don't feel finished and always remerge in our mind. There are things we didn't say, chances we didn't take, or people we have lost. Everything we feel pity may appear in our mind again and again. Not because we want to escape reality, but because we want to continue that moment, the regret. And let me talk about something real. There was a moment at school when a teacher asked a simple question. Did anyone see what happened? I did. I knew exactly what they were talking about. I saw someone being treated unfairly, but I didn't say anything. Not because I didn't care, but because I was afraid of saying something wrong. I was afraid of something bad would happen next. During the day, I told myself, it's fine if it's not my business. But at night, my mind didn't agree. I went back to that moment. I kept thinking, what if I had spoken up? What if I had given her a hand? So same moment, different ending, again and again in my mind. And I noticed something. It's not just me. Everyone has their own what if. It might be a friendship, exam, a match, or any kind of regret. For example, in the exam, you see a question and might think, what if I had read my notes one more time? Then I may got this question right. So it is not about changing your whole life. It is about changing one moment that make a different ending. And have you noticed this? These thoughts always comes at night. During the day, everything is out. School, phones, people. But at night, everything gets quiet. And that is when your brain becomes loud. Moments replay, conversation replay, regrets replay. Not because you are bored, but because you care. Your brain keeps important moments open, like a story without ending. At this point, imagination isn't a weakness. It doesn't harm you, but help you unwind. It gives us space and relax ourselves when real life feels stuck. And sometimes, those imagined versions of life help us breathe in reality. Because real life doesn't give us time to processing, so our imagination does it for us. It helps us rewrite our regrets and find the things we truly want. And at this moment, some people might be thinking, but isn't imagination sometimes a bad thing? We often hear that, right? Like thinking too much or living in our imagination is bad. We may immerse in that and cannot go out and face the truth. But honestly, I partly agree. Thinking too much or living in our imagination isn't safe. But I have realized that the problem isn't imagination itself. The problem is that we don't always know which kind of imagination we are in. So I started asking myself, why do some imagined words feel light while others feel heavy? And I realized that there are actually two kinds of imagination. One is daydreaming, and the other is what I call alternate reality. We daydream because we want something, a feeling, a lifestyle, or a different way of living. And I think daydreaming is like a motivation. It prevents us from being so negative and depressed, and people always daydream to get away from the difficulties in the real world. Also, daydreaming lets our mind wander freely without needing a starting point in reality. But alternate reality are different. They always begin with something real, a moment that already happened in the real life, which we want to make a trend. A moment where I look back and think I wasn't brave enough or I didn't do what I really wanted to do. So instead of imagining a new life, I'm looking at the same life and noticing a version of myself that didn't get to live. At this point, imagination feels less like a dream, but more like a mirror. It doesn't only show what matters to us, but also who we could have been. And I think alternate reality don't only show about regret, but also what matters to us. For example, if you keep thinking, what if I didn't quit? Then that is why saying persistence matters to us. If you keep thinking, what if I am stronger? Then that is why saying power matters to us. If you keep thinking, what if I am thinner? Then that is why saying you care about your appearance. So, but imagination is safe. And safe doesn't change our life. It is safe because nothing can go wrong there. No rejection, no consequences, no embarrassment. But real life is where things actually change. If we stay in what if for too long, we may forget about what now. So maybe alternate reality help us understand ourselves better. It reminds us that we still have choices, not yesterday, not in another universe, but now. You can raise your hand, you can send a text, and you can try again. Your what if doesn't have to stay in your head for too long. It can become your next step. Thank you.